Hello, family, friends, and fans. I'm Fletcher Rhoden, and this is Under the Wolf Moon, track by track. Yes, I'm going through my new a cappella album, track by track. The album is called Under the Wolf Moon. And today we're going to look at the last track on the album. Would have been the last the last song on side 2. It's called You'll Come Back to Me, and the subtitle is Lazarus. So let's look at this song. This is another song in a minor key. It's the last of it's this song and the one called "Buy the Ticket, Take the Ride" are the last two songs I wrote for this record. I wrote them both in Puerto Rico, which is where I did the almost all of the recording. A little bit of touching up back here in Medellin, Colombia, but these songs were in Puerto Rico. I found myself there. I went there for visa reasons. It's U.S. territory, and I brought my Mac, and I'm glad I did because there's not a lot to do in Puerto Rico unless you like beach recreation, and I do, but not that much. So I was writing songs, writing and recording, and then writing some more. I wrote some great stuff in Puerto Rico for albums that are upcoming. This is one of those songs that I wrote in Puerto Rico. It's not maybe a great song, but it's pretty good. Um, I've carried it around for a long time actually. Um, it was going to be a song called "Don't Get Real on Me." Don't get real on me. Don't get real on me, like that. And it was never really thrilled me that much to write it to completion. But then I was looking for songs to finish this record. When I was in Puerto Rico, I considered the acapella records pretty much finished. But I was doing a lot of writing, and I wrote these two songs, and I thought, oh, these would be good for the acapella record. So I'll just record them and then put it on the playlist. And so this one, instead of don't get real on me, I just went with you'll come back to me. Same amount of syllables, and it ends with me. And then, the subtitle part is Lazarus. And Lazarus, as you know, you may not know this, but he was a man in Jesus's time whom Jesus himself raised from the dead. When they say Jesus, can raise the dead, that's the guy they're talking about. Lazarus is his name. And just before his death, on his last album, Dark Star, David Bowie did a song called Lazarus. And it's nothing like this song. This song and that song, Lazarus, they're not comparable at all. But I didn't want to use that title. I just wanted to call it Lazarus. But I thought, didn't Bowie do a song called that? And even though you can reuse titles, you can't copyright a title. So I could write a song right now called Let It Be or Hey Jude. There'd be nothing anybody could do about it. I'd probably get resoundingly ridiculed, and I'm sure I would deserve that. So instead of using Lazarus, which I could have done but didn't, and I don't love the title, "You'll Come Back to Me." I don't, but it is the hook. So it doesn't make sense to call it something, approximately something else. You know what I mean? Like Shades of Gray or something, or approximately subterranean nightmare. So there's no point in that. Let's call it what it is. So I decided to use the old parenthetical, "You'll Come Back to Me" with Lazarus in the parenthesis. Subtitle. And, it's good. I like that. I like this song. It's a pleasant little ditty, perfect for this record. This record is filled with pleasant little ditties. It's not one of these expansive arrangements, big musical journeys. I do that sometimes, and I got some of that coming up. But this record, I was just doing ditties, just little songs, and this is one of them, and it's a good one. It ends the album. It almost replaced Under the Wolf Moon, which is the title track, higher up in the set list, higher up in the playlist. But I like Wolf Moon too, and that's the title track. So that got the better spot. This one is the cleanup song. Isn't that a baseball term? Cleanup batter, something like that. So that's what this song is, and it's great. It's I wouldn't call it a great song, but I'd say it's a great little ditty. A fun little song to listen to. The whole album is nice. It's fresh. It's good summer listening. Um, Even though this is November, it was written and recorded mostly in the summer, and it just has that feel. It's a little bit downbeat for a summer record, but it's a song like this. It's got optimism. It's even though it's about a man who's dead, who is about to die, and someone is saying to him, his wife says, "You'll come back to me," and he does. So it's sort of on the up and it's sort of on the down. It's got that mixture of sweet and sour that I like so well. I don't like anything to be too positive all the time. Just like I don't want anything to be too negative all the time. Who wants that? I like a mix. So this song's got that, and it's got a lot of other things. And why don't you check it out? There's a link below, and then you can go listen to the whole album. Now that our analysis of Under the Wolf Moon is finished, you should really go back, and if you haven't listened to the whole album yet, all in a row, all the songs, one after another, then you should listen to it. And then by then you're going to be thinking, wow, this is pretty cool. You don't hear records like this often. You don't get a cappella records often. What was the last one you can remember? Bobby McFerrin, right? Don't worry, be happy. So it's been a long time since Bobby McFerrin. You probably remember the song better than you remember the guy's name. And but it's probably time for another shot of a cappella pop music. So why don't you check it out and come back next week or next month rather, because I'll be doing. If you're watching this first run in November 2025, then next month I'm going to be doing another uh, Fletcher Rhoden track by track. It'll be of my new a cappella Christmas album, which I release in tandem with this one. So tune in then, check out my music, come back, and until then, bye, Mary.